Hello folks, it's Bill Swift from Swift Canoe and Kayak, and we are at the Outpost in South River, and we're here to celebrate the christening of a new solo canoe model, the Dragonfly 15. I've had a couple big mentors in my life, one of which is our designer, David Yost, who's here to help celebrate it with us. Another one is Dave Curtis, who I grew up close to in Rochester, New York. And DY designed this beautiful Dragonfly, which is 14.5 feet long, in 1981. It was a real statement at the time. Went into production in 1982. It said that Curtis Canoe made about 87 of them. The mold passed around through Colden Canoe, and when Paul Meyer wanted to retire, we acquired it. We put it into production, and the person who ended up with Dragonfly, made by Swift, #1, is Jeremy Vore, and he is here today to help celebrate this. And Jeremy worked with DY and I, where we conceptualize our new boat, the Dragonfly 15. And why don't we do this, guys? Why don't we christen it, and then we're gonna have Jeremy go out and paddle it and see what we all think. This is our favorite Canadian beer, La Fin de Monde, the end of the world, made by Unibrew in Quebec. Should we shake it up a little bit? Okay, it's time, guys. Let's all celebrate the new Dragonfly 15. Hello folks, it's Bill Swift, and we're back inside now after paddling both the Dragonflies, and we're here with our esteemed designer, David Yost, and also Jeremy Vore from Red Leaf Designs. Thank you for being here.
You're most welcome.
Now, let's start out with Jeremy. You have Swift Dragonfly, #1, that you acquired through a mutual friend of ours, Darren Bush.
Yes.
And you absolutely, I feel, love it. And why don't you tell the folks, what do you love about the original Dragonfly?
Absolutely. The original Dragonfly is remarkable in how nimble and spry it is. It responds beautifully to a lean. It holds an edge perfectly, crossing current seams and moving water. It's just so playful and so fun. It's so enjoyable. It also, on flat water, actually has pretty good speed, pretty good glide. Paddles sit and switch very well. Paddles kneeling very well. It's just a nice all-around boat. It is, for a lot of paddlers, a little tender. But I enjoy that. I find it just to be responsive and playful. It also is one of those boats that never gets in your way. It will, if you have the ability to give it the right inputs, it responds almost without thought. It's a really delightful design.
Now, what types of paddling are you doing now? Is it day trips, overnighting, river trips?
Most of what I do is day trips or just a nice half day out on a fun river. I don't have as much time as I'd like for long river trips, but as my kids get older and I have a little bit more free time, that should happen soon. So I'm looking to start doing much longer, more involved trips on a lot of big Canadian rivers with pool and drop scenarios. So that is in my very near future, and I'm looking forward to it.
So David Yost and I have been talking about doing a new solo river tripper for a couple of years now. And half a year ago, Jeremy, you came to me and said, you've got to do a bigger volume Dragonfly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the three of us got together on a conference call.
So with what I was hoping to get in a river expedition boat is a little bit more volume, a little bit more height, so that I can handle large wave trains better. The ability to carry a load without sinking the boat too deep. Also, some differential rockers. So on those pool and drop scenarios, you would have the ability to really cruise on those pool sections between the rapids.
Cruise meaning like track a little straighter.
Yeah, track straighter, a little bit more glide, a little bit more speed. And then also at the same time, maintaining that playfulness, not making it such a large boat, such a flat bottom that you lose that delightful edge, playfulness in moving water. I wanted to maintain that so the boat wouldn't be lifeless. It would still be spry and fun and playful, but it would have the size and the volume to handle that bigger water and a heavy tripping load.
I remember one of the things you specifically pointed out was that you said you love the way the Dragonfly carved turns.
Oh, absolutely. You put it up on edge and it just pops around. It's just a wonderful boat for that. And I won't spoil too many things, but this boat maintains that. It still has that. And I wanted to keep that in a boat. I didn't want to lose the sprightliness and the character of that playfulness.
And DY, you often really like to solicit feedback from different people. So the conversation that we had with Jeremy was a little different than what I was asking for. And why don't we tell the folks how we incorporated this and how you took the shape and expanded upon it?
Well, since he gave me so much information, it got pretty easy. I dug through my cabinet and I found the plans for the original Dragonfly, which I still have after 45 years. And got out my calculator, put the water line out 2 inches, took the original templates and went from the water line up to the top. Took a 1/2 inch rocker out the back. No, went 18 on the back, 20 on the front, and a full 14 on the center. Mm-hmm. The original Dragonfly had gotten cut down somewhere in its life. And so it kind of put it back where it should have been. Because I didn't have my pattern for the stem, so I had to kind of fudge up there, and that worked out after a little work. So worked pretty well.
And then you built the plug for us, yes. And we tried it for a while this spring. And the deal we originally had was that Jeremy was going to paddle the plug to give his stamp of approval on it before we put it into production. Mm-hmm. But I paddled and a number of other people, Robert Tatch, and we loved it so much. Yeah. We said, you called me up and said, I'm looking forward to test paddling the prototype. And I said, it's too late. We're already tooling it up.
It's turning into a plug right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Jeremy, we just paddled it. You paddled it with a load, without a load, Dragonfly 15. And what are your impressions?
Dave Yost nailed it. It is just a spectacular ride. It has all the characteristics I was looking for. I don't feel any bad habits in it. We haven't had it in moving water, but I think it's going to be just incredible. It is exactly what I was looking for. It is just a delightful boat. Dragonfly number 1 will be very sad when I get the Dragonfly 15 in the stable because she's going to be a garage queen.
What types of trips do you envision? Like, is this going to be day trips, or what do you see yourself doing with this one?
Well, it's a boat that you could use for day trips. Absolutely. But it's also a boat that you could use for a 2 or 3 week long, big Canadian river trip. Go up and hang out on the Yukon, or take any of those big, awesome expeditions where you've got rapids and long stretches of calm water. I think it's a really well-rounded, spectacular boat for some pretty pretty wide variety of paddling scenarios.
Yeah,
It'll be special.
I agree. I have gotten out of whitewater for a while. I used to paddle a lot when I was younger, and this boat is so much fun to paddle.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been paddling in a pond today.
Right.
But
Right.
when we get this out into rivers and there's eddy turns and
Mhm.
surfing potential and
Mhm.
big
Yeah.
drops, this boat is going to get me excited about doing whitewater.
Oh,
again.
absolutely. And, you know, in a lot of the boats that I've paddled, when you get into the surfing situations, the bow varies, there's just not enough volume up there. And I don't know how we show this to people watching this video, but Dave Yost managed to carry the shouldered tumble home of this boat all the way out into the ends. And so you get this beautiful flare, and then it comes back in to keep the gunnels nice and tight. It's just a gorgeous design, and it will be spectacular on moving water.
Now, DY, how does it feel for you? You're out there, we're christening your new prototype, the new model, to watch different people paddle
It gets kind of big.
it.
Well, the whole point to me is someone gave me a criteria. And I want to know that I meet the criteria or not.
Mhm.
So when someone says, "Yeah, you nailed it," I feel good.
Mhm.
If they tell me what I missed on, then I learned something, and I have to go back and try again.
And
Yeah.
I knew that you had nailed it. And Robert Patch knew you'd nailed it. And Jeremy didn't know. And so
And now
today for you.
Now I do. He nailed it. And I love that right out of the boat, right after I got on land, you said exactly that to me, David. You said, you know, what did you think? And I said, I thought it was great. And you said, what didn't you like? Because I want to learn. Tell me what I can do better. And I didn't actually have anything for you, but I love that that was your attitude going into this. It wasn't an attitude of, I hope it's right. It better be right. And I bet you're going to love it. It was, what can I do better? How can I make it better? I'm sure that's why you have such phenomenal designs.
Well, that's been I think the design should reflect the people I know.
Yeah.
And Matt, who give me input rather than any magic ability I have.
So, Jeremy, you like this, that DY and I internally have been calling this Jeremy's vote.
I'll take it. That is a huge honor. Thank you. Yeah.
So let's talk about this right now. There's no float tanks in this boat, which is an option. You can get it with or without float tanks. And there's these lovely looking snaps all around the perimeter, which is not standard on this. And Jeremy's company, Red Leaf Designs, is one of the premier companies making expedition spray decks for boats right now.
Right.
And let's put the cover on and let's show the folks.
Oh, sure. I'd love to.
Jeremy, this is so cool. I got to have one. So why don't we tell the folks?
Sure, and we can definitely get you one. That's not a problem. So this is one of our expedition spray decks, and it's made out of a number of different materials, but the primary material for the deck is called Aqualon Edge. It's a marine grade polyester that's coated with a marine grade vinyl.
That's the red.
That's the red. Get the red in the middle. And we make them in a number of different colors, but this one snaps just below the gunnels. It's 3-piece. It has a retractable tunnel, so there's a tunnel here that comes up around your body. We have positions for paddles, so you can keep your spare paddles on the deck. We have map case tie downs. We have tie downs on the end for your bow lines and stern lines, your painters. And then we have scramble handles. And, you know, it just makes a boat a little more capable, especially in big water, big white water, or open water. Makes the boat handle better in windy conditions.
A cold, rainy day in the fall.
Amazing for a cold, rainy day in the fall. Yeah, so it just sort of extends your season and extends the envelope in which the boat can really function well. And it will be a great match for this boat.
Absolutely. And then what I love that it's 3 pieces with Velcro, you could quickly take the middle part out. And if you're just paddling on a day that maybe is windy, you can have the end covers on, which
Makes
serve like
huge
splash decks do.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking at this shape and it just looks so graceful, and this just fits this particular boat.
Yeah, I mean the spray deck?
The spray deck,
Oh, yeah.
the lines, the DY is stuff.
Yep.
This is it's just a very beautiful, graceful boat.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what I would like to do here in conclusion, folks, is I'd really like to thank DY for giving us more paddling opportunities and continuing to design these absolutely beautiful boats. And even though you've already done over 200 boats, DY, you're killing it.
Absolutely.
designs you're coming out with are beautiful. So I'd like to thank you on behalf of myself,
And on behalf of me,
Jeremy,
this is
and
beautiful.
all the other paddlers out there that are paddling your boats. Thank you.
Oh, I say you're welcome.
All right. Carl is DY's son, who is helping DY in his business now and helping him with the work. So thank both of you. The Dragonfly 15, an absolute masterpiece by David Yost, and the crew at Swift Canoe and Kayak did an incredible job with the tooling and build on this first boat. I love it, and this boat is going to get me back into whitewater river tripping. The Dragonfly 15. Cheers.